Hello, Facebook community. Hi out there to our Facebook friends. I've opened the Lunchtime Live a couple minutes early. Give you guys a shot of the estuary from where I'm standing close to the visitor center. It is a sunny day here at the Tijuana estuary. Can everyone hear me all right? Yes, the helicopter is flying. Hopefully you can't hear it as well. Hi, Mark. Thanks for tuning in. As you can see, it's a nice sunny day, warming up. Not warm, actually really nice. It's a chill morning today. We can see to the south of us the hills there in Tijuana. The helicopters from the training facility to our east. The coastal sage scrub going dormant in front of us. And the salt marsh past the coastal sage scrub out towards the ocean. And I'm looking for feedback on how the sound is and the connectivity. I'm close to the visitor center. And standing next to this lovely prickly pear, which is part of our subject today. I know there's often a delay. Okay, great. Sound is great. Thank you, Anna. All right. So let's see. Shall we get started? If you are here today for Lunchtime Live at the Tijuana Estuary, you are in the right place. My name is Maria. I've been bringing you these Lunchtime Live episodes, programs for 6 months now, I guess, starting in April. And it's been great, and it's been fun sharing the changing of seasons and flora and fauna with you, our Facebook community, our Facebook friends, Tuesdays at noon. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions related to today's topic, it's Orb-Weaver season. It's still in session. Please type them into the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. I am standing on the sidewalk leading up to the visitor center and wearing my mask in order to protect myself and others should the public come by. Our trails are open. That seems to be a common question. Our trails have been open. Our visitor center is still closed. And I hope everyone is doing well out there today. And I am going to get started. Hi, Donna. Nice to see you there with today's Orb-Weaver season is still in session. What do I mean about Orb-Weavers? Anyone know what an Orb-Weaver is? If you are here because you saw the advertisement for this program, you'll know that Orb-Weavers might be related to, that term might be related to spiders. And if so, you are correct. Orb-Weavers have to do with the web. Spiders that weave a web much like an orb. Garden spider is one type of Orb-Weaver. Good job, Bob. Yeah, so Orb-Weavers are the type of spider. Spiders are in the order Araneae, these are arachnids, which consist of more than just spiders. But spiders are in the Araneae order, and the family for Orb-Weavers is the Aranidae. I should learn these better. But Orb-Weaver, hence more their common name, are related to are spiders that build that very stereotypical spider web that beginning probably as a child, you would draw this type of web when you think of a spider. Not all spiders build this type of a web. This type of web is known as an orb-shaped web. Orb meaning means circular or round, right? So orb weavers are the most common builder of this kind of spiral wheel-shaped web that are found, yes, in gardens, in fields, and forests. And there are over 3,000 species of orb weavers found across the world. Okay, so these are a category of spider that you can find almost anywhere. And most orb weavers have what's called spiders? What makes spiders spiders? How many legs do they have? Anyone know how many legs a spider has? Well, they have 8 legs. They have 8 legs, and on each leg, they have orb weavers have 3 claws, and this allows them 3 claws per foot. Yes, very good, Bob. 8 legs, 3 claws per foot. That allows them to spin and weave that orb-shaped web as well as they do. And if you've ever seen a web of this sort, these webs, can get very large, 2 feet wide, okay? And often they do these, again, like I said, outside, in places, on trails, in fields, in trees, structures outside that we can walk through, that we accidentally walk through. And you often don't know that they're there until you're in it, right? Okay. And there's some really good YouTube videos that have come out, news clips of walking through these webs and sort of the scariness of these spiders. But orb weavers are basically harmless. And there's one I'd like to share with you today. Bob mentioned earlier the garden spider. That isn't a common name for them, but is the silver orb weaver, or the genus Argiope. Now, Argiope or Argiope. This is can be confusing. I'm not completely 100% sure how to say it, but Argiope spiders are also found throughout the world. These are a type of orb weaver, and I'm going to show you a picture, and then I'm going to show you a real one. I mentioned that I'm standing next to this prickly pear, and that's home to the, hi Bly, nice to see you, to the silver Argiope, or Argiope, okay, the silver Argiope. How many of you have seen this one? Okay, this is a very strikingly colored a spider. Right? See those 8 legs? Those 8 legs there. Now, under a microscope or with a high magnifier, we might be able to see those 3 clawed feet. But this is the silver Argiope. Would you like to look at this guy in person? Yeah. So I'm gonna get you off of the tripod here, and we will look at the silver Argiope in this prickly pear right here. So if you've been to the visitor center and they've been outside the back door, sort of, you may recognize this particular prickly pear. And this particular prickly pear has been home to silver Argiopes, or Argiopes, in my observance, for a long time. Argiope, yeah, Argiope It really, it really depends on if it's a tomato or tomato thing. But if you look on the internet, I'd like to find an entomologist who could give me that pronunciation. But see the prickly pear there. So the word, so this particular spider is the Argiope argentata. And this is a species that's found here in Southern California. It's also in Arizona, Texas, Central and South America, and places where it's warm. And I don't know if you guys can see it because, you know, the webs are spun with a sort of a silvery or clear silk that is sticky. Sticky, and again, that orb shape. So if you can see those, let me know. It's hard for me to see through with the glare here. Okay, and so these are the silver or Gaiape are found on prickly pear, and like the other spiders in this category, the female is much larger than the male, about 3 times larger. Typically 12 millimeters in size, and the male is about 4. Can you see the spider there in the center? Can you see that? So these are not venomous to humans. They may look scary. They may look scary, but they're not venomous to humans. However, their venom that they do have will immobilize its prey. Now, what do these silver eat? Well, moths and butterflies, typically, from what I've read. And the larger the prey, the bigger the bite it will have before it wraps and eats it. Sometimes they wrap them first and then bite them in order to help with immobilization. Now these design of this spider, and you can see here, gets its name also from its silvery cephalothorax. So let me get that photo for you again, and we'll show you that. Now, someone else mentioned silvery. This may be hard to see, but that part of the spider that is the head and the thorax kind of come together, and that's sort of that silvery color, and that silvery color reflects UV light. Okay? Reflects UV light, as does the webbing. Okay? And this UV light is said to attract pollinators. So the prey for our Gaiapes tend to be pollinators. And I mentioned moths and butterflies. All right. So now this prickly pear, how many of you have seen this spider before? This is a very common spider, out in the middle of the day, in the center of the web. Now, I counted this morning when I came out here, and I've seen it before. I think I've seen up to 12 on this particular prickly pear before. Let's see, I'm going to try to get a little closer. Can you see that one there? And you see that one there. Bigger one. Okay. So these are, I counted 5 in this one today, but there's 3 right here. And what I'd like to do is move to one that I can actually get a little closer to. But I want to see it. So they sit there in the middle of the prickly pear during the day, right? So, not afraid to sit right out there. And let us move to another individual that, so I'm going to take you on a very short walk. Especially for those of you who haven't been down here, you might appreciate a short walk around to the front of the visitor center. Oh, good. Thanks, Bob. You noticed that the liquid mercury, right? So that silvery color, argenta, I believe, is a Latin word for silver. So part of the name there of this spider. And recognize where we are and the visitor center. One. It's a little easier for me to show you, and I want to show you something really cool. Spider makes, and you may have seen this before. Picture there. All right. We're looking at the underside. The underside, there it is. The silver RGO. The silver RGO. I don't know if you can see the picture. Zigzag webbing. So this spider makes zigzag webbing. A web looks like old. I see two. I've also read that the spider, the more likely it is to make that zigzag web that makes here we're going to change. I'll get a photo here again for you to see, and you'll see that zigzag spider right in the complete sound. Let me see. And right now, it is said to attack prey as well as warn predators. Not predators, but warn animals that wouldn't have any interest at all, like birds, flying into these webs. So, most of the documentation for this says they are very specific. However, we have this one here that is on a black face and a box. So, how's the sound, folks? How does that sound? Not, it starts to sound acting funny. These spiders also lay eggs in a very green, kind of bright green that they will put on the outside of the web. they will off to the side. And so they're kind of a bright green. I did not print a picture of those, but still crackly. I'm sorry about that. I don't wonder why. They the green. I hope that's, I'm trying to check it here, and more stable on here. All right, so more, better. All right, green eggs and sack I found. Sacks will contain hundreds that leave in the spring. So silver, 50 in the center with 4 X's. The 4 zip and the stability part of the side of the side. I may have to redo this. Show you, and this is one. If you did see the event of this and you saw a couple of spiders in the picture, another there was Orb-Weaver. However, the here on the sidewalk. But when I came in yesterday, they were gone. And it is a wet day. So add another one. So they were and now they're gone over in the woman just on the other side of the sidewalk. Hard to see the one exists wet, but there's nothing. The Orb-Weavers, about 3 of them over there. The spotted Orb-Weaver. 1 to 4. The spotted Orb-Weaver. Well, folks, I'm so sorry about the sound, even if you can hear that. Let's do this. All right. All right, folks, we're going without the mic. I'm close enough. I'm so sorry. Now you are great. All right, well, I took out the mic. This is the Orb-Weaver that I took a photo of right in front of the visitor center last week. There were 3 of them in the lemonade berry and Toyon just out front, but they are gone. Came in yesterday and they were gone. So this is the photo I took. These are the spotted Orb-Weaver, or Neoscona crucifera. Neoscona crucifera, or just a spotted Orb-Weaver. Now this is a very hairy, spider, typically brown with dark bands on its legs. You can see here, and also the female is generally larger than the male.
They come in a variety of coloration and patterns, but the most common is seeing this rusty red color. And they're typically found they're found in the U.S. in 31 states, mostly from Maine to Florida and on the East Coast and in the Midwest, but and in Mexico. But they're becoming more common out here. So if you go on our naturalist, you can see the range of the spider, very large range in the U.S. now. The females are roughly like 10 to 20 millimeters long, and the males again are smaller. These generally are nocturnal, but the females can be a little more active day and dawn and dusk when in the fall. And again, very common to see, very conspicuous in the fall season, both of them. So sometimes we associate them with this kind of, in October and this somewhat spooky time of year. But again, harmless to humans, slight venom for harmless to us. Their venom will stun their prey. And again, very large orb-shaped web, not specific to a particular plant. And these guys will have, their egg sacs are kind of a yellowy sort of thread looking egg sac with, again, about 1,000 eggs hatching in the spring that the female will make outside of the web. Okay, so this is the one I also wanted to show you in person, but they disappeared over the weekend. Maybe the windy weather, maybe they were just ready to move and build their nest somewhere, or their web somewhere else. So that's the spotted orb-weaver. Fairly, like I said, conspicuous in this time of year, this season, this fall season. And our other one, and this is the one I'm more familiar with, the one that we see, like I see in that one prickly pear every year. This right now I see about 5 of them in that particular prickly pear, but I've seen up to 12. We've even highlighted them in our species spotlight before. Okay. Oh, you saw them on Saturday at the visitor center. All right, Buffy. Thanks. Yeah, these were here. I took this picture like Thursday last week, and then Monday when I came in, they were gone. These were also here, and they are still here. So the silver argiope, very striking. Makes that stabilimenta typically when they're older. They're typically very specific to prickly pear. Yes, seen at the Chula Vista Nature Center. You see these all around. There is another species called the yellow and black garden spider, very similar to this. It's more coastal, seen on the edges of wetlands. And I've seen those doing surveys. Actually, I have a picture of that one as well. Since we won't see it here by the visitor center, but this is the yellow and black garden spider, which is another argiope. Okay, so there you go. So sorry about the sound today. Very frustrating since I'm close to the visitor center, and I guess I didn't even really need the microphone, but it's been working so well for the most part. We don't have any connectivity issues since we're not in a remote area of the reserve. So thank you all for bearing with me. Always a challenge with technology. I hope everyone's is having a really good fall, enjoying the cooler weather and now some sunshine. And this weekend coming up, we know it's Halloween. There are a couple of things that are going on. You may, if you've been on our Facebook page, you may have seen a post sort of highlighting how REI and California State Parks have partnered to come up with a Get Families Outside, an alternative to trick-or-treating. It's called Hike and Seek. So it's a good kind of a scavenger hunt, going out and checking things off a list, and then there's a contest that you can enter once you do that on REI's webpage, so look for that. There's also the California State Parks is doing a Halloween event, live streams from 3 to 7, I believe, with pumpkin carving contests and live streams in various parks. So we'll post that as well. That's happening this Saturday. And then one more update this morning when I came in, for those of you who are on the live stream last week or have watched the recording of the agave, the tallest spike in that cluster of agaves has opened. So very exciting to see that. So if you get down here, you may see that as well. So happy Halloween. Thank you for joining me. Sorry for the sound issues, and we will see you next week and next month, right? So have a great day, and if you have any questions, shoot them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them after the broadcast, okay? Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you next week.